Time for an oil change? Head to Jiffy Lube. We've got you covered. We've also got you covered when it comes to oil changes, thanks to Pennzoil Synthetic Motor Oil, getting you back on the road in a jiffy. Jiffy Lube. Leave worry behind.
And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head to death. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me your boom.
He is Jalen versus everybody.
What up? Dog.
I'm David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in. Center stage on the mic.
And we putting it on wax. It's the new style.
What do we do?
We get the people what they want. Extra loud today.
Extra loud today. You almost
Extra
broke my
loud.
ear.
Extra loud.
Still ringing. I'm in a great mood today. I got a lot of
What a
rest.
time.
You know what that means?
be alive.
Didn't get to see LeBron. Another late night. LeBron and the Lakers went down. This time, it went to overtime. Here's LeBron as the clock winds down, pulls up for about 27, splash, ties the game. They go to overtime. Now LeBron James gets fouled, which is interesting. They're up by 1 point. He needs to get one of these at least, right? He's going to get one. That was close. Usually they make the second one. They just make the quick adjustment. Jalen Rose, he misses 2 free throws. And then we have the inbounds play. Pop draws it up. Patty Mills puts it down. And then LeBron gets one more shot. He says he got to his spot. Is this really what you're looking for, though? A step back, lean away when you got 6 seconds? I don't know if that's your spot, LeBron. I know you hit him from that side of the floor, but I don't know if that's exactly the shot you wanted. Jalen, there's a lot to discuss here from what we just saw. Should the Lakers consider this encouraging that they've been so close to these playoff teams in these 3 games? Or should they be concerned because we're 0-3?
There should be a level of concern because they're giving up more points per game so far, early sample size clearly, than any team in the NBA. They're dealing with suspensions of 2 of their rotation players. One of the guys, Brandon Ingram, they hope to mature and be their second All-Star.
Yep.
The other guy, Rajon Rondo, who they called upon to bring leadership, organizational skills on the floor, and ball handling. And also, the more important concern is LeBron James did have the basketball late, as you alluded to.
Sure did.
But he was on the free throw line. In the last decade or so, when the game was within 1 possession, he struggled in that situation, shooting less than 50% from the line. When you step up to the line, you got to give me 1.
Gotta get 1. That's fine. I understand if you don't make 2. I get it. We're just human beings. But you gotta get 1.
But there's a domino effect, my brother. When you miss both of the free throws, the San Antonio Spurs are a disciplined bunch. They go into their huddle. Pop looks at the floor and surveys who he wants to pick on in the next play and also who he wants to get involved in the action. There's no accident that LaMarcus Aldridge, one of the best mid-range shooters in the league, was the person setting the down screen. There was no accident that Patty Mills against Lonzo Ball was coming off with his left shoulder over his right hand. And if they would have helped or somebody would have stepped up, then he would have kicked it back to LaMarcus. Okay? So that action was not an accident. The next thing, LeBron does love to step back left. But not when 1 foot standing on the 3-point line. That's 1.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Number 2.
He was leaning, too.
The reason why you pointed out it was 6 seconds left is so profound is he was shooting that because he didn't want to get fouled again. So all of these things play into the psyche of an athlete. He would have attacked the basket if he felt confident enough.
You got 6 seconds. That's a plenty of time in NBA basketball to get to the rim.
No question about it. So I understand the cries at the end of the game by Luke Walton about a couple of missed foul calls. Yeah, they happened.
He was whining.
They happened to both sides.
Especially LeBron.
But DeMar DeRozan was putting in work and had 14 assists. Okay, that's a career
Most
high.
he's ever had, yeah.
LaMarcus Aldridge had over 30 points. Mills, Forbes, they all played well. Rudy Gay played well. And like I said, when you're going against the San Antonio Spurs, the one thing you probably shouldn't have is disorganization or dysfunction.
Let me say
Minnesota had it and the Lakers had it.
You know I'm a LeBron stan. I ride for LeBron. I think he's the greatest basketball player to ever live. That's fine. Whatever. We don't have to have that argument now. But so many people are pointing at these free throws and pointing at that last missed shot. Homeboy, down 3, dribbles the ball up and just pulls up from 28 and knocks it down. Like, We forget about that. Like, that was a cold-blooded shot. And people are talking about, oh, Kobe would have made the free throws. Kobe would have done this and that. Well, you know what? He hit a three, down three, from about 28 feet with a hand in his face.
Look at it like this. As you watch the video of LeBron walking up the floor and raising up for a three-point shot and knocking it down, you should say WWKD. What would Kobe do? Knocked it down big time. But when he goes to the free throw line and he misses two, WWSD. What would Shaq do? The difference, however,
Shaq might have made one.
The difference is, and I played in the NBA Finals. I played in multiple games where we implored the hacker Shaq, where he shot over 20, sometimes 30 free throws. I will say this into a microphone. The big fella would make them when they counted the most.
He knocks him down.
He would miss them when they counted.
First quarter, second quarter.
But he would make them when they counted the most. I must say that.
That's important. You might have a ring on if you didn't. Well, Kuzma.
True.
Lost in all this. You mentioned DeRozan's 14 assists. That was a good performance. Kuzma starting for Ingram. 37 points. 37.
So, like, the one thing about being a former player and an analyst and a talent evaluator and going to games and watching games and being consumed by this because I love it is that you got to pay attention to the pieces on the chessboard.
Okay.
And when I talked about the Lonzo Ball dynamic not fitting in with the Lakers, you know, it wasn't because I don't think he can ball.
No, we love his game.
I love his game. He's a tall point guard. He's a great rebounder, a great passer. He's athletic. He's unselfish. He's an improved three-point shooter.
And everybody says, oh, well, he can't shoot. It's like, well, guess what? He will learn how to shoot. And Jason Kidd couldn't shoot either. He worked out just fine and ended up making more threes than everybody else.
And by the way, we're brothers because LeVar's adoption papers for me are still a process.
Yeah, it's a long process.
Okay.
Adoptions are very
so let me get that out there too. But the Lakers aren't building around him. They're building around LeBron. And so when I look at the squad, I'm like, who plays best with LeBron the next 4 years? That's the most important thing. And what's going to happen is it's not Ball. And you ready for this? It's not Ingram either.
Oh, why is that?
I'm trying to tell you, it's got to be Kuzma. It's got to be Hart. Because both of those guys can catch and shoot.
Lance, obviously.
They really aggressive scorers. They get buckets in the half court. They get buckets in the full court. And a lot of times when LeBron is going to be the primary ball handler or Rajon Rondo going to be the primary ball handler, you need finishers.
Yeah.
And both of those guys are drive and they continue to want to be aggressive. And so that's who they are. Lonzo Ball and Ingram, they got to kind of massage the ball a little bit. And rightfully so. Like, Ingram's really talented. He got all-star potential. He's growing into his body. He was a double-figure scorer last year. Like, I like his game too. But just like I said with the Celtics, at some point they got to decide who's going to be there long-term. And I just think Kuzma, Hart fit a lot better than Ball and Ingram with LeBron.
I think they trade for an all-star and sign an all-star that's currently not in purple and gold. I see that happening. And then they make a real
That's what
run.
it's going to take
They make
if
a real
you really
run
if you really have a chance to be competitive. Because again, they just think about it like this. They've lost 3 games and the West between 3 and 9 was only divided by 2 games.
You know what LeBron loves? LeBron loves this. He loves this. All the rumors about KD going to New York. LeBron loves those rumors. LeBron loves those. I'm sure he's on the text like, KD, New York is the best. I got some contacts for you out there. Don't worry about it. You should jump. Oh, you know what Steph said about you, KD? LeBron's working that so hard.
And here's another thing that now LeBron's going to have to guard against. And you know, because we've both lived in LA for a really long time. Here's how this works. The Lakers have fans because it's a storied franchise. People that aren't necessarily purple and gold through and through. Okay? It's a distinction that's way different. They're going to be the people that show up because LeBron's an iconic player and love that he's in their uniform on that stage.
Of course.
Then there's going to be the people that's like, all of our great players have delivered championships.
He gonna get
not
one.
sold out the arena.
You try to tell me next 4 years he doesn't get one?
Playoffs.
He gets one.
I have to bet on LeBron.
I have to bet on LeBron too. He's going to get one. Well, some tells me we'll have other opportunities to talk about LeBron James and the Lakers. I don't know every single game they play. But you know who's ready for action last night? The Trailblazers. Check out how they arrived at the arena. We have Dame Lillard arriving as Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Mo Harkless is Tyrone Biggums with the scratch and the dance and everything. Tyrone Biggums didn't have a chain, though. And then look at this. He got the walk. Like, he does look like Stone Cold Steve Austin. He must have done some research for that role. You know, you're a thespian yourself. They really did that. What do you think about their arrival to the arena?
I like it. It's fun. It's a personality. It's a bonding thing for a team. And it's also when you can make fun of yourself, that just releases, so much anxiety that one can carry. I appreciate it. I think it's a little early.
That's what I was thinking.
But for all we know, they may be going on the road or something like that for Halloween.
Probably.
So I like it. It's unique. And as somebody that prides himself on being first, they did it first. Good point.
Well, after that, they actually played a basketball game. And it was a very interesting basketball game at that. Came down to the end of regulation. The game tied up. And then as they went into overtime, there were some big buckets, none bigger than this one from Morris, that put the game out of reach at the end. We got some buckets right there trying to get it close. But the Wizards come away with the win in Portland. The Wizards are trying to climb into the top of that AFC, of the Eastern Conference. They're trying to get to the top four, top echelon. Do you think they make it this year?
I think they have the potential. I need to see what Dwight Howard ultimately is going to be able to provide. But for the Washington Wizards, they have an all-star backcourt. And unlike LeBron James, John Wall went to the line and missed 2 as well. It's just that his team was able to come out victorious.
Yeah.
And for Dame Lillard, he had a chance to kick it out to the left corner. He did it earlier in the game to Stauskas, who made the 3. I think on that final play was probably Seth Curry. If you look back at the film, when he drove in there, not only was there traffic, but he tried to finish it amongst bodies with his right hand. Yeah. And that's just a low percentage play. I'm pretty sure he would tell you, I wish I would have kicked it out to the corner for that 3.
Yep. Right now, it is time for News That Matters. Jalen Rose, do you like hamburgers?
Yes.
I love hamburgers. Like a burger, that's just like my cheat meal. Just a burger with fries and cheese, maybe even a double patty burger. And one thing I like about burgers is I like them when I want them quickly and I want them hot.
Like a little Thousand Island on the bread.
I love that too.
Version of
I love that. Or some mayo mixed with, I love burgers. I like pickles, lots of pickles in there. Well, you can have a custom burger delivered to you.
Grilled onions.
In less than 5 minutes.
I don't want it.
In just over a year. And do you know who's going to deliver it to you? Uber. Uber will deliver you burgers. And they ain't coming in cars, dog. What? They're coming from the sky. Flying hamburgers will be dropped upon you from drones in 5 minutes.
Not gonna be able to do it!
5 minutes, Jalen Rose. You can have a burger customized just as you like it from a drone drop in under 5 minutes. Why not? Why wouldn't you want that? A burger's on call like that? Burger's on deck constantly?
Answer your question.
I want a drone to be constantly 6 feet above my head, flying around with a cheeseburger with extra pickles. Just wait till I'm hungry, and then I'll text that drone, and I'll catch it in my mouth and start eating it.
That's a little too instant for the kid. Not only the delivery service, but also...
You want to wait for your burger?
The burger How can you make a burger in 5 minutes?
The drone makes it, dog.
Anybody that's ever cooked know that you can't make a burger in 5 minutes.
I know. The burger is made, and then it's put inside the drone, and the drone has a warmer to keep it hot, and then it selects which one you want. Like one of those video games, it just drops it right in your mouth.
I'm not rolling.
And I bet they got fries, too.
Let me give everybody some fast food advice.
What's that?
Okay.
What's that?
Always order something custom so they have to make it fresh.
And then guess what? You wait. Do you know what I don't do? Wait. Because I got the drone drop. I'm not going to be able to do. Let's get the people then. Got to give the people time. Give the people what they want.
I can't believe it.
That Philip brought his little brother on our mission into orbit.
How long until we get there? How long until we get there? How long until we get there?
No, I can't believe how easy it was to save hundreds of dollars on my car insurance with Geico.
What's this button do? What's this button do? What's this button do? What's this button do?
Don't touch that. Believe it, Geico could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Last night, we had a Monday Night Football game. The Giants in Atlanta playing the Falcons. It was a 3-point game at the end, but it was really not that close if you watch the game. Matt Ryan did his thing, just hitting receivers left and right. And, of course, Odell Beckham had some plays. They tried to get in the end zone. They couldn't. They tried a 2-point conversion. Didn't work. This is 2 straight quarterback sneaks that didn't work. Beautiful catch from Odell Beckham here. Toe tapping in the back of the end zone. But it was really for nothing because there's 5 seconds left on the clock. And they tried one of the weirdest onside kicks I've ever seen. Jalen Rose, the Giants are a mess. And we're going to talk about them because they're the Giants. I guess for some reason it's in the ESPN contract that we have to talk about the Giants. But they are a mess. What do? They trade Eli?
A couple of things. I got to make sure that I acknowledge the national media bias. We'll talk about the Lakers.
I'm kind of done with the Giants.
But we won't talk about that they got beat by the Spurs.
Nope.
We're talking about the Giants, and we're not talking about that they got beat by the Falcons.
Nope.
Which happened. And so with this topic, I talked about this a couple of years ago for 2 players that are really talented all-pros. Gronk with the Pats and Odell Beckham with the Giants. I felt like you had to sell high with both of those guys. I think Odell and the Giants met at the wrong time for their relationship.
Oh, good point. That's happened to all of us. That's happened to all of us.
Like, Odell Beckham is one of the best players in the game. He's talented. He has great hands, clearly terrific route runner. It has unlimited potential and deserves every amount of money somebody's going to pay him to play football.
But it ain't working on the Giants.
But they were 1-6 with and or without him last year to start the year. They're 1-6 with he and Saquon this year. The common denominator other than Eli, they've changed coaches, right? They've changed general managers, right? They've gotten rid of Tom Coughlin, right? It's the philosophy. If you're going to build a football team, you got to have some line play.
So here's the thing, Jalen. You get on your I told you so a lot. You really do. And sometimes it's more valid than others. This is 100% valid. You said about a couple years ago, like, I would trade Gronk. You're like, they need to get rid of Gronk. And at the time, he was like one of the best tight ends in the planet, one of the best football players in the planet. And you said the same thing about Odell Beckham. And if you look at both of those players in their current situation, both situations would probably be better off if you trade those players.
Everybody woke up, put their fantasy teams together after Thursday Night Football, and they looked down at their phone, they looked at the computer screen like, oh, Gronk ain't playing?
Yep.
What happened? He not flying with the team?
But it's not like, oh, I saw that injury, he tore a hamstring last week. It's more like, it just seems like wear and tear over the years. And, the arm brace is getting bigger. The routes are getting shorter.
Seriously, like Gronk out there is wearing as many braces as Barry Bonds did late in his career.
For real. And when he was getting the first base, had to take everything off. It would take like 10 seconds.
Yes. And so, of course, he's still talented. Of course, on a given day, he can put up big numbers. But long term, I just don't think his health is going to hold up based on the hits that he's taken. For Odell, his contractual situation won't just allow them to build out the roster. They're overpaying Eli. Saquon is a beast. Eli's you got to take care of him. So Odell was the chip.
You know who would have traded Gronk and Odell? John Gruden. Because John Gruden's trading everybody. John Gruden's looking around like, all right, anyone who's recognizable on this team is out of here. And the latest is Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper is now on the Cowboys, and this is interesting to me for a lot of reasons. Number one, John Gruden went on wax into a microphone and said, tanking? We're not tanking. What are you talking about tanking? You think we're trying to lose football games? We're staying up till 4 a.m. looking at film. We're not doing that to lose football games. But pretty much every roster move he has made indicates that they are tanking. And they traded Amari Cooper for a first-round pick. And I said it earlier, and I'll say it again. People love the prospects. People love the potential of a pick. But those picks turns into players, and you just traded Amari Cooper for someone's name you don't even know yet.
These are the type of moves you make when you know that, oh, yeah, I got a
10-year deal.
I got a 10-year deal.
I'm on the 10-year plan.
You know what I mean? Like, I got $100 million. And so I'm going to be here. Now, I have a chance to remix this roster really a year and a half now until we actually play in Las Vegas in our new arena. So this is a period of time where they can redefine the identity of the team. The problem is, unless another squad, and there are a lot of them that are quarterback thirsty, they're also going to be stuck with Derek Carr.
Are they going to be stuck with Derek Carr?
$100 million deal, fam.
I wouldn't be shocked if in 2 years he was no longer in a Raider uniform. Based on what I've seen and the things I've heard, the way John Gruden criticizes him and just sort of like the post-game prickliness, like I wouldn't be surprised if Derek Carr was on a different team.
And by the way, beast mode, vet move. I don't know how much his groin was injured.
He ain't playing.
But he like, I ain't playing.
I see what's happening around here.
Playing.
Oh, we're not trying to win?
Oh,
okay. I ain't playing this.
And I gotta live here.
Yeah,
this is my hometown.
Exactly.
I gotta live here.
Yes.
Y'all going to Vegas.
You give me 20 carries. 20 carries, got bump into these dudes. Oh, I'm
he
all
on
right.
that Le'Veon Bell plan.
Test out that hamstring, Marshawn. Ooh, it still stings a little bit, coach.
Marshawn gonna be with the Steelers next year.
Yep. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. And Jalen, we have more news that matters. Jalen Rose, you and I agree about a lot of things. We're in lockstep on a lot of topics in life.
No doubt.
This one, we're on very different sides. I believe there are alien activity here on this planet. I know that in my heart that it's true. But I haven't been able to just prove it to you. I haven't been able to bring to the table photographic proof that there are aliens until today. NASA released this picture of an iceberg in the Larsen Sea. That is a rectangle. That is a perfect 90-degree angles everywhere. That is not a natural shape for an iceberg. You've seen pictures of icebergs before. How many of them look like a perfect ice cube before in your life? No, for real. No, for real. Do you think that is a natural shape of an iceberg?
Yes, I do. Based on the fact that you only showed one, which means when weather happens or things like that take place and it continues to chip and break, there were millions of those that you didn't show. You just showed the one that happened to be perfect.
That was perfectly shaped like an ice cube.
So what do you think? A contractor went up there and sculpted that?
No.
What do you think?
I have a theory. I'm glad you asked. Antarctica is essentially a cooler for aliens. I predict in the next 2 weeks, you will see a large alien hand reach in below that iceberg and pull out a Coors Light.
What?
You know what? This is cultural. I figured it out.
What?
Because you said Coors Light.
Yeah.
Who drinks Coors Light, Bud Light, Miller Light?
Aliens.
My point exactly.
So Jalen Rose, there's always so much drama surrounding Jimmy Butler. Ever since he asked for a trade, it seems like he's always in the news and people are talking about him and talking about potential moves that he's going to make and what team he's going to end up on. And you know what he surrounds himself in all this drama? He surrounds himself with this. Foliage. Here he is. He got the Achilles exposed. He's amongst this beautiful foliage. I guess that's Minnesota. Beautiful spot. He's got a cup of coffee in his hand. Professional photographer taking pictures of him. And he says, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. It's a Harvey Dent quote. Jalen Rose. Exposed Achilles, foliage-induced comic book quote on Instagram, soft move or boss move?
Boss move.
Oh, really? Really?
I know I surprised you because
really?
The first thing that came to mind was a famous quote by Ashley Larry. Should never gave you money. He living his best life. He's under contract to play basketball in Minnesota. He's eventually going to get traded. He's going to get a maximum contract.
From who?
And these are borrowed days now. Like, this is like rec run for him. This is like street ball, playing in the backyard with your friends. When they finish a home game and everybody else needs to get on the bus at 10:45 p.m. to go to Dallas, guess what he's doing?
Go home.
In the steam, in the shower, not rushing to the airport. Because you know why? I ain't playing tomorrow. I'm taking a day off for rest.
I have a lot of questions about this picture. Can we see the picture again? Do you think this is like a setup photo shoot? Like, do you think that he was driving by and saw the foliage and just hopped out the car and was like, yo, take a picture of me in my silly suit?
No.
What kind of coffee do you think he's drinking?
No, here's what I think.
A little oat milk?
And as the person that's new to Instagram here, what I learned is there are people who are real Instagram models, whether they realize it or not.
You just learned that, dog?
And so
you just learned that?
Like, he took time and energy
to
say, I'm putting this outfit on. It's going to go good in this area. Look at the leaves. Let's you know what? I need coffee.
You got coffee?
I need coffee. No, back up a little bit.
Yeah, make sure you get the leaves. Get all the leaves. Get all the yellow leaves.
Yes.
And also there's this. You put a quote from a C-list Batman villain? Like, you can't even get the Joker? Like, how deep did you have to dig for that? Like, you got Harvey Dent. He got a bad Batman. Like, you can't do better than that. You can't do better than that. They call him Two-Face. That's like his villain name.
He living his best life. I ain't mad at him.
I did like the foliage. It looked beautiful there.
Boss move. What about his outfit?
His outfit, the paint splattered short suit. I don't know why everyone's buying suits. If I spend $1,000 on a suit, it gotta come down to my shoes. It's gotta come down to my shoes. Because this, if I'm buying $1,000 suit, I want it to be in fashion in 3 years. And in 3 years, we ain't gonna be wearing capri shorts and suits. Moving on.
Enjoying Minnesota while he's still there.
Jalen Rose, are you ready to have a new favorite player in the NFL?
Sure.
Are you ready? You ready to change allegiance away from the Lions to a new team?
Never.
In your division?
Never.
Wait till you see Stephon Diggs cleats. Look at him. Power. Cleats. And that's in the font. Oh, look at that. Those are dope. I'm surprised he didn't catch 17 touchdowns. Jalen Rose, boss move or super boss move? The power cleats.
Extra boss move. You saw the introduction to our fine program, contributor to the show, Joseph Sikora, representing, no doubt about it. And I appreciate the fact that the NFL has allowed the players to express themselves, show a little personality, show a little individuality, actually dance after they score touchdowns. I appreciate it. I'm not mad at it at all.
The Chiefs straight up run out. Like, they plan 4 or 5 touchdowns. We gotta start playing 6. Like, they do. You can tell they're improvising at some point late in the fourth quarter.
They scoring so much.
So, I can find the negative in anything.
No, not you.
But this is something I got to pitch, right? So they should pay me for this. They really should. So, Halloween, the movie, Michael Myers, the guy with the mask and the knife. They did a remake of that, and it's doing really well. Since, it's in theaters now, it's doing well. So, LeBron James has always got his little producer hat on. And him and Mav and the people at Spring Hill, they're like, let's do the same thing. Let's reboot Friday the 13th. But here's the thing. This is what needs to happen. LeBron James needs to play Jason Voorhees. What? If they do this, let me tell you. You see LeBron as Voorhees? You know what LeBron's really good at? Moving, being big, being scary, using his body. Do you know what would be dope? Black Jason Voorhees. We haven't crossed that line yet. Also, do you know what LeBron's not good at or what he's working on? Talking and acting. When you're Jason, guess what you don't got to do? Talk and act. LeBron James as Jason, I'm watching that movie. So the question for you is, producing but not starring in a Friday the 13th reboot, soft move or boss move?
Producing a reboot of a successful franchise is an easy boss move. You're seeing it
Guaranteed
with Rocky
money.
And Creed.
Guaranteed money.
I can name
hard to mess it up.
100 of them.
Everyone's going to see Friday the 13th.
But I like what you had to say. Not only be a producer in it, but if he was playing Jason Voorhees and all of a sudden you saw a black person in the beginning of the movie, they wouldn't die.
They went the only way a black person will survive the horror movie. You gotta be Jason.
You gotta produce the movie.
You gotta make the movie. That's it. We might have the very first black character be in the beginning, the middle, and end of a horror movie.
No doubt.
If Spring Hill produces Friday the 13th.
Other than Get Up.
And Candyman. Candyman made it through.
I was scared of Candyman.
If it is worth talking about, you say hit the brakes, me, you, and Mess Man hit the brakes. If not, we keep it moving. Are you ready, Mr. Rose?
Let's get it.
Game 1 of the World Series is tonight in Boston. I'm fired up. Hit the brakes or keep it moving.
The brakes.
We have
the World Series.
Kershaw against Sale in a battle of the lefties in Fenway Park. This is how it's supposed to be in the World Series. 2 of the best pitchers in the game, the best in the American League, the best in the National League going head to head. I want to see these pitchers in game 1. I want to see them in game 4, and I want to see them in game 7. And I want to see the Red Sox win in 7. I'm so excited about this series. I might even stay up till the 9th inning.
And because you root so tough for the Red Sox, it makes me want to support
root for the Red
them
Sox
as well.
Too. Okay.
Because that's what friends do.
And you get to say what? Mookie
is my guy. David Price is my guy. He came on Get Up today. And so on the other side, however, the Dodgers embody current day baseball, especially during the playoffs. Of course, they lead in strikeouts. They're also leading home runs.
And the thing is Dave Roberts has a special place in all Red Sox fans' hearts. And he's going to be in the opposing dugout. So we're going to win regardless. Moving on, you're talking about your guys. I have an update on one of your guys. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
If it's one of my guys, hit the brakes.
Okay, well, sometimes like you pick like one of your guys. Like LeBron James is one of my guys, and it's like, well, he's everybody's guy. He's one of the best players in the league. But you also pick players early that aren't exactly big stars. One of which, by the name of Zach LaVine. Guess what Zach LaVine's been doing on the Bulls when no one's been paying attention? Work balling. 3 straight 30-point plus games. Everyone counted him out, including me, after he got injured. I counted him out.
Look at that
Look
shot.
at that. Step back, corner 3.
And that was when the game was 2-2. It wasn't like that was a heat check.
Look at my man, Zach. I think he's my guy now.
Now, this is what I always liked about him. That post work, that 3-point work, that finishing at the hoop, and a bang, bang, Siegel Street. Down Broadway.
Look at that.
I felt like when the Bulls acquired him, that he had a chance to put up all-star level numbers in the East.
He's doing it.
And once he got injured, people forgot how good he was.
I did.
And that's why I wanted to make sure I continue to speak into a microphone and let people know. Watch out, because I was watching him in college and felt like he had what it takes to do this kind of work in the league, and he's just getting started.
Le'Veon Bell is still not with the Steelers. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Keep it moving. I'm mad that I took him in fantasy at this point.
You still got him on your roster.
4-3, hanging on, waiting on you, big fella. Second place.
The Toronto Raptors are undefeated 4-0. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
I'm excited for T-Dot. Keep it moving. But they got big-time victories.
Check. When you're 10-0, we'll hit the brakes.
And the Wizards in particular.
There's a gentleman in New Jersey who I believe is going to lead the next diet craze. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes. Nothing wrong with eating good.
This gentleman is 41 years old. And ever since he was 4 years old, he has eaten pizza every day. You know what's even weirder than that? Even weirder than that? No pepperoni, no mushroom, no onions, just plain pizza every day for 37 years. You ready to do this?
Just bread, cheese, and sauce?
Yeah, you ready to do this next 37 years? Pizza every day?
I don't like to eat the same food every single day. Like, as much as I love popcorn and as much as I love lobster, I eat them 5 or 6 days, not 7.
Here's what I don't need. I don't need the old Jalen back. If you had pizza every day, we'd have the old fat Jalen back.
Yeah, you have kangaroo Jalen.
Yeah, I don't need to be across the table from the fat Jalen anymore. I'm surprised people even watch this on YouTube back in those days. Suit. The Jags are starting Blake Bortles. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes.
So here's the thing about this. So they went out. Doug Marone's like, yeah, we're going to start Blake Bortles. Blake Bortles our starter, but he's on a short leash. If I'm Blake Bortles, I'm like, listen, man, you don't got to add that part. Just take me out of the game, but you got to tell everybody you're going to take me out of the game.
You know when I'm not on a short leash? When I go pick up this $20 million y'all paying me this year.
That's a long leash.
Okay. They made the mistake by feeling, and this is what happened, that their defense was so dominant. Like the old school Bears, like the Ravens when they won it with Ray Lewis.
They were
going to keep teams under 14.
They did last year.
And still win that way. However, I have to defend something.
What's that?
A style of play. Now, he does have 11 touchdown passes and 10 interceptions. But they wanted to play ground and pound. And in order to do that, you need Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big thing everyone's looking over. And also, let's not forget the game he played against the Patriots. Like, he was running. He ran for dozens of yards. He had touchdowns. Like, he looked like, oh, Blake Bortles is taking the next step against the Patriots defense. And then every game since then, awful.
But he has been a guy that was pretty average the entire time. They had
below average for some time.
But I said it into a microphone. There's so many backups out there. Tyrod Taylor and Teddy Bridgewater come to mind.
Patrick Peterson desperately wants a trade. Keep it moving. Hit the brakes. Patrick Peterson of the Cardinals. He wants out. He's like, I'm good. I'm good on all this. I see what's happening around here. I don't need to be a weatherman and know which way the wind blows. Y'all not trying to win. I'm trying to win. Get me out of here.
Remember, we had the same conversation, and it was weeks ago. And you're going to remember when I tell you, when the Cardinals played against the 49ers. And I looked out at those teams, and I was like, I feel bad for Richard Sherman.
Mm-hmm.
Bad for Larry Fitzgerald. They out there playing with those squads. And Patrick Peterson, like, Earl Thomas, what happened with him? Oh, he got injured playing for a bad team? Oh, no. Le'Veon Bell's holding out so he can get his bread?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a combination of both. I'm playing each week for a terrible team, and I'm probably the best in the game at my spot. Get me out of here. And make it quick.
Next, the Celtics have the worst offensive rating in the NBA. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes. I alluded to this earlier.
This is interesting. Listen, I have to say, and I cannot say it enough times, small sample size.
No doubt.
Small sample size.
No doubt.
Two new pieces that they're incorporating into the offense. This is a new team with a new look, and 40% of their starters were not on the playoff roster. Okay? That being said, they have not looked great, and they lost to the Orlando Magic and only scored 90 points against the Orlando Magic.
The Boston Celtics are a terrific basketball team. I still have them coming out of the East. I still have them pushing Golden State Warriors for the championship. I love their roster, the way it's constituted. I love the way Danny Ainge has not only set them up for the present, but set them up for the future. With that being said, ultimately they're going to have to make a decision.
What's that?
I talked about it earlier.
Tell me about the decision.
It's going to be a stylistic decision. They made it to the conference finals without Kyrie Irving being the team's leading scorer. The guy that's leading the team in shot attempts.
What are you saying?
The guy that's leading the team in assists.
What are you saying, Jalen?
They're going to have to decide if they want to keep him long term.
Okay. You're trying to tell me and our audience that there's a chance that they decide not to keep Kyrie.
It's a decision that people don't realize that's not a foregone conclusion.
And here's the thing is I think they acquired Kyrie because they got him for 50 cents on the dollar. I don't think they went out and said, you know what we need? You know what Brad Stevens needs? You know what's going to unlock this offense? Kyrie Irving. They said, oh, wait, you're going to take Isaiah Thomas and Crowder for Kyrie? No doubt.
Kyrie is an amazing talent. Okay, I was in the gym watching him shoot down the Golden State Warriors. Him and LeBron both have 40. I remember right wing in Steph's face. They was trying to do whatever they can to get Steph away from him.
But
in that situation, he also, while he wanted out, was averaging 25 shots a game and amongst the league leaders in isolation ball. Guess what the Celtics don't want to do? Have a ball-dominant player that's ISO heavy.
I'm telling you, like they just kind of ended up with Kyrie. I don't think they went out there and said, this is the style of offense that we want to play.
And so, again, like it's first world problems because the Celtics have so many assets. They're going to allow this team to run it the best way they can, but ultimately that's going to be the decision. Are we changing Brad's style to cater towards Kyrie and allow him to lead the team in shots, assists, and points? Or are we going to turn it over to the roster like they did last year?
Jalen been moving up. Jacoby moving. You know we keep it moving up.
Jalen Rose, if you are a young high school prospect that has NBA potential, you've got a few options. Obviously, you can go through the college system, play for one of the big premier franchises, get taken care of and flown around, and you have to go to class a little bit. And then after 1 year, you enter the draft. Now, the NBA is offering up the select contracts for some of the select prospects, get $125,000 to play in the G League. Not exactly the cushy confines of the college experience. And as he always does, Rich Paul has blazed a new trail.
Shout out.
A gentleman by the name of Darius Baisley, who is a thin wing prospect, like a 3-and-D type of player, potentially, but he's a young man now. Still has to fill out a little bit. And he's down with Rich Paul. And Rich Paul says, well, maybe not college is the best thing for you, but maybe let's not put you in the G League to have you compete against adults who are trying to get up to the NBA. Maybe I'll talk to my contacts at New Balance and we'll sign a little deal with them. So what he has signed with them is not all of the details are disclosed, but the floor of the compensation is $1 million. The ceiling of the compensation, if he goes to the league and hits certain performance incentives, is $14 million. And he's going to be an intern over the winter at their headquarters in Boston. So he's basically $1 million intern. And in the meantime, guess what he's doing, Jalen Rose? He's in Memphis, developing himself into an NBA player and living with Mike Miller. This is interesting. There's so many angles to this. The shoe company's getting involved in the prospects, compensating a young man based on his NBA potential, subverting the G League, subverting college. Do you think this will be a new template for players to use before they're allowed to go straight from high school to pro?
And also getting closer to that Memphis market. Shout out to Penny Hardaway. I think he's going to do a great job with that team.
Shout out.
And in the future, they're going to have more prospects as well. Another extension to that story. But Rich Paul has done a terrific job of turning himself into one of the best agents in the game. And I know a lot of people won't give him his true credit because of his relationship with LeBron James. But when you look around the league, anytime he's securing players like Anthony Davis, that shows you how he's elevated his business. Now, for the NBA that's made the G League an option, You open Pandora's box in a lot of ways, which is a great thing.
Yeah.
After high school,
more options.
Guess what most people do? Whatever they want. Athletes should be allowed the same luxury. And I graduated from college and I had a terrific collegiate experience. So I wouldn't trade that for anything. But for those that feel like college isn't for them and they don't want to be on a path for a degree, or they just feel like they don't want to play college ball, or they just feel like they want to play basketball for a living after high school, they should have multiple options. And I like the fact that if he's not going to go play in the G League, we're going to set him up with an internship at a shoe company. Get him paid top dollar. Foster that relationship with the shoe company. And if he becomes a player, then that becomes a long-term relationship.
Something that's been very important to us here at Jalen Jacoby is the disgusting omission of Method Man and Redman from How High 2. They're shooting this film, dog. It's already shooting, and they're not in it.
We need to beat it. We need to take the show outside.
TMZ Sports caught up with DC Young Fly, one of the stars of the film. Here's what he had to say about it.
I'm disappointed. Either of them? I ain't reach out. You know, business is business, you know what I'm saying? And you just wish people, you know what I'm saying, was a part of. I wish every day I was like, is they coming? Is they gonna be here? You know what I'm saying? Even though that they not a part of the movie, man, we still try to keep the culture alive.
Is there a possibility that if this one's as successful as people think it's going to be, that a third How High could come out and it could be Meth and Red, Yachty, and DC?
I think the third one already in the works.
I didn't know they were filming this movie. There's a set. You know who's not on that set?
Us and Red and Meth.
I cannot believe this is a disaster. What? Do they know what they're doing?
Who contributes to Keep It Moving on this program?
Method Man.
That's etched in stone. It has nothing to do with this movie, right?
I'm just so disappointed.
Who's from day one has been a part of our introduction?
Redman.
That's our family. When you disrespect our family, you disrespect Jalen Jacoby. Michael Jordan has been banned from this show because he spit blasphemy about Redman.
Once I figure out what products Universal puts out, I'm going to ban them. I just don't know what they are. I don't know what shows I need to stop watching. I'm leaving. I'm disgusted. I'm out of here. I might not come back. I'll probably come back tomorrow. Let's be honest. It'll happen. Ladies.
Hey. Ladies!
Call 985-80-JALEN. Leave us a voicemail. Tomorrow is Woman Crush Wednesday. We'll be celebrating the women all around the world. We're just going to have to embrace it, dog. Like you talk about every single time it comes out of my mouth, you say something. It's at some point you're just going to have to move on.
You say a lot of things that I don't like. You continue to say them, which is fine.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's part of this is what we do.
Exactly.
So, ladies, make sure you call up and leave us voicemails. Also, leave us cultural or regional questions, fellas. 985-80-JALEN. Leave us cultural or regional questions. A lot of people come up to me and say that's their favorite segment. And I say, yeah. People on the street are like, I love that thing you do. Is it cultural? I love cultural or regional. So make sure that you call up and leave us voicemails.
Universal, medicinal.
Yep.
Right now, we're taking all callers like this one. Reg.
What up, Jalen Jacoby? It's Kyle out in Berkeley. Shout out Reg and the whole West Coast staff holding it down. I got a quick soft move or boss move for you guys. So the other night, I was walking through the lovely streets of Berkeley, California, and I saw a bunch of relatively nice clothes hanging out on a fence, indicating that they were being given away for free. And I was like, that one jacket was pretty fly. And so I just took it. But, I don't know, my girl was kind of looking at me funny. So, is it a soft move or a boss move to come up on free clothes? I don't know if that's creepy, but hey, if it's fly, let me know what you think. Love you guys.
Boss move.
Give the people what they want.
It's only a soft move if you're rich. You know what I mean? If you're rich and you're taking the free clothes that someone else could have, then it's a soft move. But if you're, doing all right and you see a free fly jacket, you take it. I spent like 10 years of my life with furniture from the street inside my home. I had a coffee table. If you live in New York, you know what I'm talking about. People just put their stuff out in the street. It's like, it's your way of just giving it back to the game. And if you see like an ottoman out in the street, you can just grab it.
What? So it was in front of the house to be trashed?
Hanging on the fence. So if it's inside the fence hanging up, they might just be drying it.
That sounds like a level of thievery.
If you have to reach over the fence, then you're stealing it. If it's hanging on the outside of the fence,
you didn't say
that. They're giving it away.
That wasn't a part of your first answer. You endorsed this behavior.
I do endorse this behavior.
You called it a boss move.
It is a boss move.
So now let me give my take.
I don't know if I want to do that.
You never care what I have to say.
No.
But here's what I want to say. if it was on their fence and you took it, first off, you stole it.
Yep. No.
Yes.
How you gonna play my man Ty like that?
No, you stole it.
Ty's out in Berkeley, definitely walking around medicinal.
No.
In Berkeley?
No.
Oh, he hot.
No.
Medicinal.
No question. It's legal. But here's the other thing. It's warm there. And
fall jacket.
Unlike New York City, okay.
Not that warm.
The trash in front of buildings and in front of residences sometimes isn't taller than a human being on the front sidewalk.
Nope. Okay.
So therefore, on the East Coast, when somebody puts, like you said, a couch or something outside, it's for anybody to take. They just want to get rid of it.
Exactly.
In LA, when people hang things on their fence and on their line, they were just drying it.
That's on your own property, dog. So listen, I'm not going to let you play Ty like this. He said it was on the fence of the property, right? So I'm assuming it is the fence that delineates this. If you go over this fence, you're now on my property. You're now trespassing. But if you're on the other side of the fence, you're just on the sidewalk on the street. I like that fence. It's a very important fence to have. So here's my thing. If you're going to put them on the fence, then what you're saying to the world, if you put them on the outside of the fence, so more than 50% of the jacket is hanging in the public space, you're giving that away. If you put it inside the fence, then you're drying it. What? Don't play my man Ty. My man Ty boss move. Don't listen to Jalen.
Soft move, Ty. I love you. I appreciate the support of the show.
Shout out.
But if you lay something on your fence, like a rug, like something you just washed in the washing machine, a sweater, or anything like that, you would hope that it's there when you return.
So I'm about to say something I'm going to regret into a microphone.
Don't say it.
It's not that bad.
Okay, cool.
There's pictures behind us in our studio, right? Have you never noticed that, Jalen?
Yes. I spent a lot of time and energy about
so we have multiple pictures and multiple prints, and some of those came with us on the move from Los Angeles to New York. I was like, send these to my crib, right? Send them to the office. Not a lot of storage space here at the Seaport. So, the executives around here, John Curtis and Terry Brady.
The best in the business.
They were like, we can't store your stuff. So there's a bunch of pictures from the wall. I said, you know what? Just send it to my house. Now they're to my house. Guess what's not in my house? Storage. Guess what is at my house? My wife. Guess what my wife doesn't like?
The pictures
sitting in the living room. So I'm thinking I might just put these out in the street.
What are they?
It's like Stevie Wonder.
I want it.
Malcolm. You're never going to come get it, though. That's why I say I'm going to regret it, because you're going to be like, let's give it away to the fans. Let's have the fans tweet, and then we'll send it to them. I ain't sending it out. We barely sent a T-shirt. You know what I mean? I'm not giving myself work by telling the story. I'm saying someone's about to come up on some official Jalen Jacoby studio pictures if they happen to walk by my house at the right time.
Why don't you give away your address?
Same reason you don't give away your address. I'll put them outside your house. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put them outside your house and tweet your address and put a picture.
No, in my neighborhood, they're going to just throw it away. You know what I'm saying? I live in the kind of neighborhood where he can pick up the trash at 5 in the morning. I'm like, I love this. This is great.
Trash is, I live in the New York City mountains of trash, because there's a big building next to my little tiny building, and the big building got mountains. They got Mount Everest of trash. The dudes that work, they got more than one dude that works on the trash in the building next door. Someone's about to come up. Someone's be walking the streets of Manhattan and say, this looks familiar. This is official Jalen Jacoby studio pictures. They're about to be outside for free. Reg, hit us with another voicemail, please, sir.
Hey, guys. What's up, Jalen Jacoby? My name is Ahmed. I'm Egyptian. I live in the UAE. Shout out, Reg. I love listening to your pod every day, going to work, coming back. I have a question. I read an argument on Twitter. Brad Rowland, I think, is the sports writer. Shout out. And he was saying that what if because of how good Jason Tatum is playing nowadays, what if there's a trade and you can get someone like Anthony Davis for Jason Tatum right now? Should Boston do that trade or not? The guy's 20, but also Anthony Davis might be the best player right now, overall player right now. He's only 25. And my friends and I, we're talking about this for the third straight day right now, fighting over it. I say you have to make the trade. Like, it's crazy not to. Even if Tatum ends up being a league MVP a couple of years from now, it's crazy not to trade for someone like Anthony Davis right now. You know what I'm saying? Keep getting them checks. Keep giving the people what they want. Peace.
Big shout to Ahmed in the UAE. He's Egyptian.
Shout out.
My wife,
Egyptian
one of her best
lover.
friends, is Egyptian.
Egyptian
My wife
lover,
did a
baby.
documentary about the Egyptian uprising.
Remind me of my breakdown.
She spends a lot of time out there. Cairo.
Egypt is the place.
He's in UAE,
Egypt.
and Ahmed and his friends get around, and they listen to the Jalen Jacoby podcast. We love our international callers and listeners.
No doubt.
And you know what? I know it's hard. You got to figure out. You got to do like 1-0-0-0-1-1-9-8-5. Like, it's hard to dial international. Sometimes I just give up. So shout out to you for figuring it out, Ahmed. He wants to know, straight up, I'm Alvin Gentry. You, Danny Ainge. I say, I'll give you Anthony Davis for Jason Tatum. Pretend the contracts work. Would you do it right now?
And those are the only two players involved in the deal?
Only two players in the deal.
This is a no-brainer.
Of course. No doubt.
Is this
of
a
course you do that.
Let me answer it a few ways.
He said that him and his friends have been arguing about this for 3 days.
This is no argument.
They don't have too much going on in the UAE, I guess.
How about this?
No.
Not only would I do it for Anthony Davis, I would do it if they wanted Rozier and or Smart too.
No doubt. Both of them. I'll give up both of them. I swear. Here's the thing. People love potential. You know what? You said this to me once, and I plagiarized it. You're like, you know what happens to draft picks? They turn into players. That's what happens to draft picks. Everybody loves draft picks. Oh, like John Gruden, I traded for a first-round draft pick. Everybody loves a draft pick.
Good example.
Everybody loves a draft pick, but then next thing you know, you got a mediocre right tackle instead of Amari Cooper.
Correct.
Like, draft pick, everybody loves potential. Jason Tatum could be like the next MVP of the league in 5 years. Guess who could be the MVP of the league this year?
And next year.
Anthony Davis. You know, like that's who could be the
next
MVP of the
few
league.
years.
It's just people fall in love with what could be, and they forget what's in front of them.
And also, you got to just think about the balance of your roster and who you need to beat. The Golden State Warriors up front, they have KD, Draymond, and Boogie. Okay? The Greek Freak is in the Eastern Conference. You need players to oppose this positionless basketball, and nobody embodies it as well as Anthony Davis does right now because he's the only guy that I feel is going to have a quadruple-double this season. And that says a lot about his versatility all over the floor.
So sometimes working at ESPN is actually like what you think it is like. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just like you're by yourself and you're like, doing an Excel spreadsheet just like any other person in a cubicle. But sometimes
I ain't never did an Excel.
Yeah, I know, but you're different.
Spreadsheet.
You're rich. But sometimes I'm arguing with Bomani Jones and Pablo and Stephen A. Smith about the future league, and Max Kellerman's chiming in. It's just like, whoa, this is exactly what like my friends think working at ESPN is. We were arguing about Anthony Davis, and I was trying to come up with a countering argument for Anthony Davis. It's very difficult. But here's one thing I said. Doesn't really get his own shot a lot. He gets spoon-fed buckets a lot. Like a lot post moves that, someone's got to give you the entry pass, pick and rolls. When he gets open jump shots, they're generally him just setting and shooting. Like, he doesn't get his own basket the way other players do.
He does. He absolutely does. And you play so much basketball. When I tell you this, you're going to be like, oh, okay, I see it just a little bit different now. What it is he's not ball dominant.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, again, I'm just trying to poke holes here. I know what I'm doing. Like, I'm just making arguments.
And so what happens is he can get a bucket in 2 or 3 or 4 dribbles when a lot of the guys take 7, 8, 9.
And I would say sometimes, like Derrick Rose had a great crossover yesterday to lose his defender and then went up against another defender and scored. And it's so obviously getting your own basket. But sometimes a great baseline cut is the equivalent of that. You make yourself available to get someone else to give you a basket.
And here's the second point I want to make for you. Not only is he not ball dominant, he can score from each area on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, wherever he get the ball, he's a threat. That makes you open.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody kick it to you at 3. They don't close out. You shoot. They close out. Pump fake. 1 or 2 dribbles. Mid-range. All the way to the bucket. Slam dunk. In the half court. Pick and roll. Pick and pop. Throw it over the top for a lob. He also gets out in transition. He also blocks shots. He's also somebody that's in every action. Can do dribble handoffs. And so he doesn't have to be the guy with a high usage rate in order to be effective and efficient. That's what I love about his game. And this is another thing you got to think about when you and your friends talk about the Celtics. They potentially can get 3 first-round picks this year.
4. No, they could get 4, but they're most likely going to get 3. They could get 4.
At some point, you're going to have to give up some of the players on your roster. But I got to give a different dynamic.
They got Yusuf Bailey. They got Olajay. They got some room.
You know what?
Tice might not be there that long. They got some room.
You ready for this? You're going to hit the brakes on this one. I was watching the Celtics play. And this is going to be the only season for this iteration of the team, obviously, because Rozier, to me, deserves to be a starting point guard.
Of course.
But there's going to have to be a choice, in my opinion, style-wise. Gordon Hayward's coming off a gruesome injury, signed a maximum contract. He'll be there. To me, up front, it's going to have to be a style choice. Are you going to take the ball-dominant Kyrie that could get me 20 to 25 points, sometimes taking 20-plus shots, and also giving me 5 to 8 assists? Or are you truly going to unlock your 2 number 3 picks in Jason Tatum and or Brown?
So you're going to tell me that there's a chance, in reality, in the world, that Danny Ainge does not give Kyrie the extension?
That's something they're going to have to really think strongly about.
What? Ladies. Hey! Ladies! Tomorrow is Woman Crush Wednesday. We need you to call 985-80-JALEN and make sure you send your cultural or regional questions via voicemail, also via Twitter. Follow at Jalen Jacoby. You can follow the show on Instagram as well. Kayla Johnson, one of our social media producers, has been doing a great job providing lots of content. So make sure you follow at Jalen and Jacoby. Yep. And come back tomorrow. Listen to the pod every day. Go and rate us 5-star, 5-star, 5-star. Leave us reviews on Apple Podcasts. Tell a friend to tell a friend. At ESPN on Twitter. Tell them that you love the show. You think it doesn't make a difference? It does make a difference. Thank you so much for your support over the last 7 years.
No doubt.
But we're not going anyway.
We're not done.
We're not done. We're not done. Got to give the people time. Give people what they want.
They my little guys. I love them.
Speaking of the Hobbits, let's talk about LeBron James.